Hey, Jude here, Cat Mellow, and I am a Zelda fan. I really love and adore all the Zelda games. They have been a part of my life for a long time, ever since I was like 7, 8. Like I had a friend that gave me an N64, and he was just like, "Yeah, man, like I don't play it. I have a PS2," and I was like, "All right. I mean, if you wanna share, we could share." But he no, he just gave it to me because I didn't have a system at the time, and my mom was not poor, but poor. And yeah, so he gave me an N64 and with a whole bunch of games with Super Mario 64, um, Star Wars Speed Race, Pod Racers. Um, uh, what else did he Star Fox, and the last one was Ocarina of Time. And when I played Ocarina of Time for the first time, I felt like everything in that game was meant for somebody like me. You know what I mean? Like, it made me feel like I was truly Link, you know, going through this wild adventure to save the princess, and it really made me think about, when I would go out and, not tell my mom that, oh, I'm going to go out with my friends and, all this stuff. And, I get in trouble, but not like severely in trouble, but like in trouble to the point where I get in trouble for like get grounded for like a day or two. But then, whatever, right? But I guess. I guess what I'm trying to say is it really brought the outdoorsy adventurer inside of me to partake into a challenge at a young age, not knowing what this game is truly capable of. Truly. Because the game itself was so low rendered, but to me it felt like 4K graphics. You know what I'm saying? It really redeveloped the process of what a video game was at that time in 1990. My god, 1997. And it really established the criteria of the games that we have now. Maybe not as you know out outlandish, but it kind of paved the way through for other games to be more story driven, if you know what I mean. Like, don't get me wrong, Final Fantasy VII would be like the best thing for me. But if I were to have two studios work together, Square and Nintendo would make a beautiful, beautiful remake of Ocarina of Time. That's just one. Second one would be From Software. Now, hear me out. I know that sounds a little challenging for some people to hear, but we're grown now. And, we're like, 25, 6 years in, 27 now, of, the series, going on and stuff like that. No, and even, probably even longer. Anyway, the point is that the fundamental of what From Software has created in their games leading up to Dust Bloods, I feel like it's an opener for Nintendo to actually seek their way through From Software, from Software, and get a good combat inclination of that particular game style in that type of direction in a Zelda game. That's number two. Number three, I know it's a little downfall. They've already worked with them once, and I know nobody likes them, but Ubisoft. I'm sorry. Ubisoft would be like the pinnacle point of a good, not a good company, but a good direction of how I would like the new Zelda story driven would go. The way they take Far Cry, not a lot of not really much of Assassin's Creed. Kind of take a little bit of Assassin's Creed, but not really through the time aspect, but mostly Far Cry. You know, Link in a Far Cry like, you know, I know we had that with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, but like a rated M, a rated M version of, a Zelda game. Like anything that has to do with the high end monarchy of a story driven combat system like FF7 Remake Rebirth from any From Software game or any Far Cry game. Any of those three categories into said Zelda. If you can get me that, Nintendo, godsend. Or, 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 you can go down this path of recklessness and it just give us another fucking Breath of the Wild era game, which no one wants. I personally, I don't care what you do, but in the core aspect of it, do not take Ocarina of Time story mechanic game and put it into a Breath of the Wild era. No. You do that, a lot of people are going to hate this shit. A lot of people. And I'm not the only one that is thinking this. A lot of people are thinking this. We're sick and tired of just the non-development story driven lore side. You need to give us a little bit more of the in-betweeners of what's actually going on. Where are we in the story? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you don't understand the criteria of how a story should be lured out. You're Nintendo. You're gonna do whatever you're gonna do. But it, it's just the lore aspect. You got to make it make sense. You know what I mean? The only thing that kind of bothers me is the story not actually connecting to anything other than its own game or games within its series. Like, take the timelines, for example. You know what I mean? Like, when it broke off from Ocarina to the three branches, like the where he dies and everything goes into the imprisonment more. We'll get back to that with Tears of the Kingdom. Um the one where he succeeds. And then, Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, favorite game of all time. And then so on, and then let's go to where he defeated Ganon, but he didn't come back. Like it's loosely tying in the relevance of how the story is actually being created and how it's being thrown at us. Because what I'm getting the inclination of how everything is starting, or the beginning of of how what we don't know. Like we know that in Echoes of Wisdom that before the world and everything was created, there was Null, the darkness entity. I don't know what the hell you want to call him, but he was just like a dark energy force thing that was darkness, and he wanted everything to be darkness. And then the three golden goddesses pretty much swooped in, stole his reign, and said, "No, dude, there needs to be light. There needs to be creation, or nothing is real." Or something like that, whatever. So they created the Earth, or the universe, technically, and like we need more story structure. Give us a base bottom line from the actual beginning of Hylia, maybe even before Hylia. No, 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 no. Give us a story that tells us a story like at Hylia, like the time Hylia and Demise were actually now brought into the story. But like before what we knew from Skyward Sword, give us Hylia, like herself. We thought Sonya from Tears of the Kingdom was Hylia. No. No, 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 no. Completely wrong. Like who is Sonya too? Like how was she a descendant of Zelda when she dies and she doesn't give birth, or what we don't know, she has or hasn't gotten birth to a kid, so the heir of the bloodline keeps going to get to Zelda. But then she dies. So what? That makes no sense. If Sonya dies and Raru dies and they didn't have a kid yet, but but the Zonai that Link wears, the outfit, is supposedly their son, but it's not canonically official from Nintendo that's their kid. We don't know. Yet they threw that outfit just to what? Give us an inclination that that version is Link, but not Link? What? Listen, Nintendo, I appreciate everything that you've done for the Zelda lore and whatnot, but you gotta do a little bit more. You have to do a little bit more because the whole aspect of how the legend goes, I get it. It's a legend. It's, like it's like a story. It's like not everything in the story actually happened exactly how I'm telling it. Well, then make it make sense then. Because this doesn't make absolute sense. You're literally drip feeding us lore to things that had nothing to do with the main plot, but had everything to do with the main plot when Ocarina of Time was first announced, or was first, thrown out there in the universe to us to see, to play. But I hope you guys are getting where I'm getting with this. So with the new remake of Ocarina of Time that Nintendo was supposedly making on the Nintendo Switch 2, Nintendo, hear me out. Okay? Go to one of these three companies, mostly Square, mostly fucking Square, and give them this idea in this video that you want to create the Ocarina of Time remake in Final Fantasy VII Remake Rebirth UI. You would make the whole world blow up in excitement. Like, think about it. Or, or you can even make FromSoft fans go batshit crazy. You can give us a Zelda game that's a blood type game, a Bloodborne type game. Holy shit, that would have been hard. That would go so fucking hard. Just imagine it. And also, you can even make it PvPvE if you wanted to, Nintendo. Why? Or maybe not PvPvE, but like, like kind of like, where am I going with this? Not like Night Rain, but more like Final Fantasy VII Remake Rebirth into a From Software game. Do you understand what I'm saying? That would be good. Make it like you and your party members, like you had in Tears of the Kingdom, but they have their own specific, like, what's that game? Age of it's one of those. I'll throw it up on the screen. That game, that game had all these characters that you had on your team, like Tears of the Kingdom, but they had their own character traits, skills, and all that. And also, you could change to be that person. You don't have to always be Link. You could be Yonobo, or Raiju, or uh, Tulin, or Sidon, or whoever the fuck you want to put in the next new game. I get it. I'm just throwing information out there. Okay, maybe not put that in the remake. I'm sorry, there's a little tidbit. Don't put that in the Ocarina of Time remake, but put that in the new Zelda that you are creating. Put it in that. So keep it separate. So let me give you a good base plan of what you should do. Ocarina of Time remake. Go to Square. You hear me? Go to Square. The new Zelda game that you are creating in the year 20 for the year 2026 or 2027 from Soft. I'm telling you. If you want to go to Ubisoft and pick their lazy asses off their feet for you to give them one of your IPs, so be it. Go ahead. It's your IP. I don't care. I care, but I don't care. I'll play it. I won't like it, but it's something that's there. But make it Far Cry related. But not two Tears of the Kingdomy. More lore. More lore. Story driven. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, that's my little input of like what I would want in the next Zelda remake and or the new Zelda on top of that. Um yeah, Nintendo, please, I hear you out. I hear you out. I hear me out. I'm a really dedicated Zelda fan, and I love your franchise so much that like I want to get a tattoo of the high Triforce, but you know I don't like tattoos, and I'm scared of needles. I'm a little bitch. Sorry to say, but it, do it. I'm giving you ideas. Please do them because it just seems to me that a lot of people are speculating this, that, patty whack. Stop. It should be like one of these three options. The third one, maybe not. But those two first options, Square and FromSoft. Think about it. Think about it, Nintendo. Eiji Aonuma and Shigeru Miyamoto. For the love of God, don't mess this up. Please. I beg you. And with that, I take it that you have watched it all. So, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment. I don't really care. Um, yeah. I'll see you guys in the next video.